Four Knights of the Apocalypse chapter 66 is finally here, and we're finally getting the battle between the Four Knights of the Apocalypse and the revived commandments of Gawain and Lancelot. And I have to say, while this wasn't 100% just pure action, we had some more developments with the story and setup for, honestly, the ending of the arc potentially. Arthur seems to be making some kind of move of his own. It was just a really good read all around. It's something that I just keep saying with every new chapter, but that's just the truth. And we had a very, very cool ending to the chapter as well, which I'm going to get into everything in just a second. But before we get into the video, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really, really does help, as I do want to keep bringing you Four Knights of the Apocalypse content. And also don't forget to check me out on Twitter and Instagram, where I just post regularly now, more often than not, as well as just posting when I upload new videos, as sometimes notifications won't work even when you do have the notification bell on, which is something that YouTube is kind of needs to work on. But if you don't know when I upload a video, follow me on my social media accounts. It will show you when I upload again. Now let's hit that intro and get straight into the review. Chapter 66 of the Four Knights of the Apocalypse, titled The Assessment. And I like how the cover image is literally just Gawain and Lancelot in darkness in their new forms. It's just really cool. I love seeing these guys back in action again, and the design's just, every time I see it, I'm just loving it. But we head back to Camelot at Arthur's side, as he's talking with one of his holy knights about how two supreme ranked devils, Lancelot and Gawain, once members of the Ten Commandments, have their powers laid waste to Camelot once, and now Arthur gave them new powers. And this knight he's talking to is literally questioning the point of doing this, and Arthur is giving a pretty decent explanation. They belong to them now. They're reliable firepower, and now they will atone for their past sins from 16 years ago, and now they'll sacrifice themselves for the cause of Camelot. So, okay, it makes sense. He's using him as sacrificial pawns for his overall goals, so that's why he gave them the powers. He is then given a transmission, or a vision, or whatever, from the little vampire that was basically an assistant to Merlin as her, like, spy and stuff like that. And honestly, I'm just happy to see Orlandi again, this little vampire bat creature that just been just the eyes of Merlin from the Seven Deadly Sins from the later half. And he's basically like spying on Leonis for Arthur right now due to all the chaos. So I wonder if he went there with Lancelot and the shrouded figure, which is something that I'm honestly very curious about. But he's informing Arthur about Gawain and Lancelot preparing for battle. And Arthur's wondering if they're actually battling Meliodas. But no, he states that it's three boys and a girl. As Arthur tries to come to a realization, the Four Knights of the Apocalypse. They're gathered now. And Orlandi is literally looking at, these kids are really the ones that are prophesied to destroy Camelot. Like, he's really unimpressed. But he looks down and is just in sheer shock. As he says, is that Lady Gawain? What's Arthur's niece doing among them? So, this 100% confirms that this is Arthur's niece. And Arthur's reaction to this is just hilarious. He's just shocked, puts his hand on his head in like disappointment and confusion, as the knight says, I feel your pain. But then Arthur just bursts out laughing. Like, that wild stallion, seriously, I had my doubts, certainly, but she's one of the prophesied four. As he gets up from his throne, saying that his sides are hurting him, he elaborates that Bartra's vision belongs to Leonis, and is a lot more precise on intel and maneuvering, which obviously is how they managed to keep the upper hand on Camelot for the past couple of years. As Arthur says that it's going to end today. As Arthur starts to leave, as he says he's going to assess them. So Arthur is going to make his grand appearance to face the Four Knights of the Apocalypse to test their strength, to assess their strength. But can we just step back and just really appreciate how funny that reaction from Arthur was? I know I'm spending a little too much time on it, but I can't wait to see that animated, because just Arthur just like utter shock and like, what? And then just us thinking that he's like disappointed or confused, only to just burst out laughing. I feel Arthur might be the villain, but he literally has like a really good personality regardless, and character, despite just being, I'm the villain. Ever since his first appearance, it was like, is Arthur actually 100% evil? Because sometimes his reactions are just completely on the contrary. But it's just, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Anyway, Arthur seems to be on his way to Leonis to face the four knights and see how tough they really are. Anyway, we cut back to Leonis on the battle beat against the revived commandments. The peanut gallery of irrelevant holy knights are being like, it's no doubt, it's the four knights. As Gawain is literally just cracking his neck with Melascula hovering over him, being like, questioning that they're there to crush them, know your place, etc., etc. And we have a 2-page spread of Melascula and Gawain in the air, facing off against the four knights, getting ready to face them. We then follow up with another 2-page spread with literally flashing over to Gawain landing a barrage of blows where the four knights were standing, even knocking someone, well, actually 2 people, out into the sides through multiple buildings, some even 1 building, as he states that he only felt 2 of the knights that he hit. As the smoke begins to clear, Tristan is up in the air, and it is revealed that Percival and Gawain were the ones hit. Melascula shows up behind Tristan and then engulfs him in the Cage of Darkness. Now here's the thing. I like that this new creepy chaotic design is pretty horrifying. She mentions how Meliodas could barely escape it before, when she was a member of the Commandments with her original power, and now it's enforced with chaotic magic. So now it's definitely going to engulf the body and soul in just 30 minutes. Now remember, in the 7 Deadly Sins, Melascula engulfed Meliodas in a near unbreakable cage of darkness, and Meliodas only managed to escape by fully reverting to his previous self, before gaining all of his emotions, basically giving up most of his emotions and entering annihilation mode, regaining his original full power. So right now, Tristan is in a situation where Meliodas would be the only one to break out of it, assumingly from that point. Maybe endgame Meliodas would break out of it, but yeah, that's an interesting point to make. Gawain is asking Melascula where the last one went, and Melascula points out to him that the last knight is right behind him, as it is revealed that Lancelot ended up going right behind Gawain, as he wonders how the heck he managed to evade his attacks. As Lancelot just tells him, hey, look ahead of you. As Gawain looks ahead and notices Gawain is still standing, as she's touting how she is the strongest, how she is invincible. So she was knocked back, but it doesn't seem like she was really injured at all. Fully embracing the whole, I am the strongest there is persona and everything. So that's nice. That's a nice thing to go about things. I love Gawain. She is really growing on me with just this overwhelming personality. But yeah, this is something that I really, really enjoy. So Percival got knocked back, and since Gawain more or less took a good chunk of the brunt of Gawain's attack, Lancelot was able to slip away, similar to how Tristan flew upwards in the very instance, thus showing the difference in experience between all 4 knights. Gawain is a straightforward fighter and will take on any attack, as she will forcibly go against someone head to head. Lancelot is more sneaky and conniving, so he'll dodge the attacks, while Tristan also dodges the attacks being based on the situation and reacted faster. Meaning that Percival is the one that was knocked back multiple buildings, presumably across the entire kingdom. But then Gawain begins to be hit by a barrage of Gawain's own attacks. As he says that this is wonderful, they still defy him after taking all of his strikes. And now he won't stop until Gawain is mincemeat, endlessly hitting Gawain as she just smiles and grins at him. So, in this instance, either Pelgard is just a better fighter than Gawain right now, more strategic, or there's just more force behind Pelgard's attacks due to the fact that he parried and maybe used the momentum of Gawain's hits in their previous battle. Who knows? But still, she is seemingly getting injured. It does seem that there's blood and stuff and bruises, but she's still facing him head on. So this is a full force attack. I'm curious to see how this is going to go. But Melascula looks down and says, well, maybe we're out of practice. They're using too much effort just to squash these mice, as she then notices a cut in her Cage of Darkness, as we then get Tristan using his attack, Enchant Heaven's Lightning, as he then bursts right out through a single attack with his sword out of the Cage of Darkness, seemingly effortlessly, even managing to cut Melascula on the arm. As he states, you will never defeat us. Why? Because we were chosen. As we'll go over to a tower that's been destroyed, The rain is coming down. A panel of Meliodas is back as he's probably going off to see Bartra. A panel of Lancelot. We see a panel of Percival on the ground covered in smoke. Tristan finishes, because we were chosen to shake away the darkness that threatens to cover Britannia. Percival grips his fist, and we see a light emerge as Percival ends up getting up and explodes with a ton of his hope power, ending the chapter with the line, "We are the hope of the land." So, this more or less helps confirm the theory video that I made months ago about why Percival's power was hope, due to the sheer fact that, you know, it really does counteract the whole like despair and darkness thing that Arthur is starting to bring onto Leonis and Britannia as a whole. So, I think the panels that we had right now were made to see who had faith in Percival. Remember, Percival is pretty strong with just his 3 friends, Donnie and Nasians, giving him hope. And then Percival exploded with even more power with Lancelot's hope in him during the battle against the Dark Talismans, even though it didn't really do much against 4 against 1. And Lancelot still overpowered all of them. But now, Tristan seems to have some hope. And with that one panel of Meliodas, it seems that Meliodas is having hope in the Knights and having hope in Percival, which is why we got that huge explosion of energy from Percival at the end of this chapter. So, it's seeming like things might not go exactly as how I envisioned it. Remember in last chapter when I said the matchup is going to be probably Gawain and Tristan versus Gawain, and maybe Percival and Lancelot versus Melascula, due to the previous sins history with them and the fact that these specific characters seem to be more accustomed to each other and trusting of each other. So, next chapter we're definitely going to pick up where we left off. However, we're on a break next week. Yeah, we're on a freaking break for the 21st of June, which is just crazy. I did not expect that until I saw it on the website that I'm reading, 4 Nights on Azuki, which is just an incredibly big cliffhanger, and I'm just incredibly excited for this fight. This didn't have way too much action, but this shows just how strong the Knights are right now against powered-up characters that annihilated the sins upon their first appearance. So, this is just showing just how much the power escalation is for these characters. Now, Tristan is only using his goddess powers, not his demon powers, like he seemed to be getting ready to use when they were going to face off against Pelgard. I feel like we're definitely going to see that, but we're definitely going to get this fight ending with Gawain and Melascula getting utterly destroyed. Killed, or they'll be just defeated. I have no idea. But Arthur is making his move. I want to make a video on Arthur in particular at some point. I don't know when. But I just have so many video ideas that I want to do, but I'm not sure when I want to upload them because every new chapter is going to either prove me right or wrong by the time the video comes out. So yeah, so much happens in each one of these chapters. But I am planning on getting a video out next week in place of the chapter review, so that you guys can eat up some more 4 Nights content. But yeah, what did you guys think of this chapter? What do you think of Arthur making his move over here to Leonis, seemingly being the climax of the arc? Will we get a battle between Arthur and Meliodas, and maybe Elizabeth? Maybe we'll actually see Elizabeth in action. Will Arthur annihilate and destroy the Knights in this instance, showing just how far they are from beating him? Who knows? Leave your thoughts, theories, and opinions in the comments down below. I do read all the comments. I just can't respond to every single one all the time. I will react, but I will read all of your comments. And I will potentially bring them up within future videos, depending on if it pertains to the chapter I am talking about. But with all that said and done, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel once more, just to help with the YouTube algorithm and show just how much you guys like these 4 Nights videos, as 4 Nights has been doing really well on the channel, especially in the last few months, and I can't wait to bring more content to you guys in the future. And don't forget to hit the notification bell for updates on future videos as well. And if you want to support the channel more directly, don't forget to check out my Patreon and my Ko-fi accounts, link in the title card and in the description below, as I have a ton of video ideas I want to do outside chapter reviews, and any and all help in that regard will be very much appreciated, so I can get more videos out to you guys as I can. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have an awesome day.